I think everyone first took notice of Letshouer when they released their take on a planar IEM with the S12 and later the S15, but the thing is the company has way more to offer rather than just planar IEMs. Today we take a look at their latest take on a hybrid IEM design, the Cadenza 4. White and grey are the key colours of the Cadenza 4, and this is reflected on its packaging. It basically has a grey box, and one thing that they do different is that they don't really have any form of shape of an IEM on the box itself, so it basically has some sort of design that resembles a faceplate. At the back of the sleeve are the usual specification and the usual lot of information. Next, tossing the sleeve aside, you then see the Letshouer's tagline, "Sound alive." I mean, if you're doing naughty things, you want them to sound alive, right? You get an envelope that consists all the literature that no one ever reads, and below that are the earphones themselves sitting there. In the drawer below is the soft touch plastic case that Letshouer has been using for a while, which is actually pretty nice, and by the side are the interchangeable plugs, which is a feature on the Cadenza 4. Inside the plastic case are two different sets of ear tips which are not e-waste. Time to pop up the champagne, as most ear tips featured these days are quite crappy. Fortunately, these are pretty decent. One thing to add, I owned a Leica Q a few years ago and this packaging is seriously familiar, but then again, how many permutations are there to put something in a box? Next, let's talk about build quality. The Cadenza 4 is made from resin that is 3D printed by Kiwiears. Kiwiears was the company that built the chassis of the Moondrop Variations and even more recently the Truthier Hexa, so you might be quite acquainted with them. The Cadenza 4 here sports a white resin that gives a rather distinct look. The chassis feels a little different from the Variations and Hexa as it is a little bit more hollow. I like the velvety touch that Letshouer has done on the surface of the resin, as it does feel a little bit more premium. Faceplate is made from anodized aluminum that has some facets on it. I can see the family resemblance of the Cadenza 4 with other IEMs in Letshouer's lineup, such as the S15. The Cadenza 4 features a 2-pin termination, which is great for fans who like to mess around with cables. The cable provided on the Cadenza 4 is made from high purity silver plated copper that has a grand total of 392 strands. On top of that, they also have included an interchangeable plug termination. You get 3 different hits, a 2.5mm, a 3.5mm and a 4.4mm. One thing you should note is that these are friction based, so try your best not to swap these hits around much, as constant inserting and removing them will wear them down rather quickly. At the heart of the Cadenza 4 is a hybrid IEM that sports 4 drivers, one beryllium coated dynamic driver that is matched with one sonium balance armature and 2 Knowles balance armature. It is designed in the traditional hybrid manner, with the dynamic driver handling bass while the balance armatures deal with the mids and treble. Sound. This is where it becomes rather interesting. The Cadenza 4 augments the current popular meta of which most IEMs are tuned to a natural warm tuning. What Letshouer did was pretty smart, where they lowered the upper mids slightly, creating a different perception to the overall tone. This is quite refreshing as you get a slight emphasis on the lower mids while the upper mids still have good level of presence. This shifts the tonal balance slightly and creates an IEM that is familiar yet distinct. Don't get me wrong, this is still on the whole a natural sounding IEM with a tinge of warmth, just that you get the usual upper emphasis on the upper mids dampened a little, allowing you to notice the lower mids better. This is a friendly sounding IEM and can suit friends who are looking for a safe upgrade from cheaper IEMs. So let's talk about bass. Bass on the Cadenza 4 is certainly more sub-bass focused. This creates a very clean overall sound without mid-bass mucking around the mid-range. I found the extension to be actually pretty decent. Also, the resolution in the bass region is also very defined. On better master tracks such as Wheels of Fortune by Hans Zimmer, you get a very realistic rendering of bass with beautiful reverb, which you can hear the texture very clearly. Bass is certainly not for bass heads, but aplenty for normies. Dynamics of bass is above average, which allows the Cadenza 4 to translate emotions quite well. Mid-range. Earlier I mentioned the upper mids was slightly dampened compared to what is popular. This lends for a perception of meatier lower mids. Lower mid sound full with excellent clarity as you get virtually no bass bleed with the Cadenza 4, as such instrument layering is very easily deciphered. Male vocals sound a bit fuller compared to the other offerings. Upper mids, because of the slight dampening, are still forward but with none of that shoutiness. When it comes to technicalities, the Cadenza 4 fares very well on the whole with good resolution and cohesive transients. Treble extension is quite good, pretty smooth sounding as the usual suspects such as the hi-hats and crashes are not gratingly rough, but still have good detail. It is slightly airy as well, but perhaps not as much as I'd like, as there is a slight roll-off on the upper end of the spectrum. Soundstage, with regards to width and height, it is pretty expansive in both spectrum, giving you a very realistic rendering of music, perhaps the stage of a decent sized hall. Depth and positioning. Depth again is pretty good as it is aided by the lack of mid-bass bleed and good dynamics of bass. You can actually feel the depth in the music. Positioning is also pretty accurate and you can visualize where the instruments are coming from quite easily. Next, let's talk about some comparisons. So versus the Simgot EA1000, so this was the baby darling of 2023 and it still holds up pretty well in 2024. The build quality of the Simgot EA1000 is more premium than the Cadenza 4, with the beautiful machine chassis finished in a mirror shine. I'm confident sitting on them. The Cadenza 4 build isn't as premium, but it has a tone that for folks who prefer a slightly less treble forward presentation, they will like it much better. The Cadenza 4 has a friendlier sound that can probably suit the less adventurous, while the EA1000 has a more exciting tone with the slightly more emphasized upper mids and better dynamics. The Cadenza 4, on the other hand, is more reserved sounding, perfect for folks who like a more relaxed listen. I do feel that between the two, the EA1000 has better technicalities, but I would pick the Cadenza 4 if I knew that I was going to use my IEMs for a longer listening session. Next up, versus the Kiwiears Orchestra Lite. The Orchestra Lite also featured a more relaxed tone as it is one smooth operator. Between the two, I do find the Cadenza 4 has overall better technicalities as it blends smoothness and resolution very well. The Orchestra Lite is a little too smooth and a little too polite. The Cadenza 4 has better details and separation, especially when you compare them side to side. So next, what I like and what I do not like about the Cadenza 4. I like how Letshouer is trying to change the meta by introducing an IEM with a slightly dampened upper mids compared to the current meta. They have done it in a way where it is still largely accessible to most people. Also, I like that the ear tips provided by them is not e-waste, which is a trend that is becoming too common. What I do not like. Well, firstly, the 3D printed chassis does feel a little cheap and a little too light. It does feel like it will break if I planted my ass on them. These feel like an IEM that you will have to baby them around. I won't really trust myself from crushing them when I just chuck them in my bag, so I will have to check my bag from time to time, hoping I don't crush them. And finally, in conclusion, I like what Letshouer did with the Cadenza for offering a variation on the current meta that would be widely acceptable by the masses. In the past, I would usually just recommend the EA1000 or the Tangent Origin, but now we have one that is a little less outgoing but equally lovable, the Cadenza 4. Perfect for those who want a solid listen without the slightly sparklier nature. Anyways, thank you guys for watching the Supercharged Super Audio Show. It's great to see you guys back. And if you like the content so far, please kindly press the like and subscribe button somewhere down below. Hopefully this week is a lot less cringy from last week. Yeah, hopefully like the new format a little bit better. Oh yes, I almost forgot one segment. So is this a buy, give your friends, hide from your wife kind of earphone? I would say this is one that you can seriously consider, or if not, or if you already know that you are a little bit sensitive to the upper mids, this could be a easy buy as well. I personally really enjoyed the Cadenza 4 and it is one that I rotate pretty often actually. And with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode of the Supercharged Super Audio Show, and I really hope to see you guys soon. Also, CanJam Singapore is just right around the corner. If you are going, do drop by to say hi to me. I'll be there and let's talk about audio. With that said, I hope to see you guys soon.